All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Yak podcast. This is currently 4:45 a.m. Was it Greenwich Mean Time? Greenwich Mean Time. I'm in London right now, but I stayed up for the game 6, closeout game. I was able to catch game 5 and game 6, staying up late, but we got DJ and Tim back. How's it going, Tim?
And it's good, man. Just finished, yeah, like you said, just finished watching Game 6. Warriors locked it up. So now it's officially NBA draft season, right? So let's go next week. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the finals. I mean, we will get to it, but yeah, that was a fun series, man. So, yeah, big time. And look at you, international traveler, man, coming all the way from London to come through. So big time.
Yeah, how's it going, DJ? I don't think we recorded after any of the games. I think me and Tim recorded after game 1, but what's up, DJ?
Yeah, I've been off for a little bit. It's been crazy this spring. So and maybe I already said this on a couple of them, but I bought a condo that closes in a couple of weeks here, and then I sold my house that I'm currently recording in. I'm in the main room. Been here for a couple of years or 4 years now. So between that, some volleyball, and then I'm doing a triathlon. So today I had a 25-mile bike ride that I was hitting earlier this evening before I met up with a buddy of mine to watch the game. So we've been floating, but not quite traveling as much. We're not gonna make it over the pond here probably another year. So we've been doing good. And Tim reminded me I had Warriors in 6 when we did the preview pod. So hit on the clairvoyance there. Warriors were fire for me all year. I should have put some money on them, considering they got me the Ant jersey that I got to pick up here in a little bit. So we're doing good right now.
Yeah, I think Tim, you said what? You said what? Originally you said Warriors in 6, I think, right? Or 7?
I had 7, and then DJ went 6, and you went 5. I believe is how it played out.
I think I went 5.5.
Yeah, then
sure,
Tim, you flipped
sure.
over the Celtics. You had to give yourself a chance at getting the win on that one. Looked
Yeah,
good
yeah.
for a minute there.
Coming after Game 3, the Celtics were looking like they were going to do it. That they had the advantage, and that they were just too physical, too big, all of that. And then really we have that Game 4 performance from Steph that was just all time. Put the team on his back, just going crazy. And obviously after that, the Celtics couldn't recover. The Warriors, got to credit them defensively. They were putting a lot of pressure on them. So, but at the same time, man, it's 20. What was the final count? Let me pull up the box real quick. But I think they ended with like 22 turnovers or something. Not very good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the series completely changed after game 3. The Celtics were obviously up 2-1. We had that incredible Steph Curry game, but DJ, your boy Andrew Wiggins came through.
It's so funny, honestly, because I like the trade has been relitigated now after because what was it Game 4? Correct me if I'm wrong. That Wiggs went like 16 and 17.
I think it was
And Tim
5,
T
game 5.
Game 5. Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, Game 5. If he would have done that, that makes sense. Wait, or was Game 5? I think it was Game 4 because in Game 5 he went for like 20 plus, right? Because
Game 5,
they
he was
closed
their
out here
best
in Game 6.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the game that Curry struggled in. And I just pulled up his game logs here. So, all right. So let me just backtrack slightly, right? So we got Game 4 when they beat them in Boston. This is coming off of Game 3 that Tim, you already kind of mentioned. It seemed for a minute like, ooh, Boston's too length or has too much length. They're too athletic. They're just destroying the Warriors on the boards. They're hitting threes when they need to. And then suddenly Wiggs pulls off 16 boards there, helps to shore up that gap because he was 5, 6, 7, and then 16 and 13 the next 2 games. And like you said, he was the best player that the Warriors had in Game 5, even though he couldn't hit a 3. And so, he wasn't like uber efficient, but you can just watch the game and know like, holy cow, who is this number 22? He's nasty. So sports talk radio in Minnesota, some of like the fellas, the trade starts getting relitigated like, wait a second, the Warriors got Wiggins for D'Lo and Kuminga, or I think the pick that became Kuminga. What a steal! And it's like, okay, first off, can we just be happy for him? Like, he's 27 years old. He got better. He's playing in the finals. He's showing up. He is making Tatum uncomfortable. I mean, heck, I don't know if Tatum even had any like sick driving jams. It's something like every time he tried to drive on Wiggins, he's just going for a step back or a pull up. And so, Yusuf, to answer your question, I'm happy for him. I don't need to relitigate this trade. He was the second slash like first most important player on our team, both like skill wise and kind of like emotionally, if that makes sense. Like we kind of like with if Wiggins had a good game, like we're gonna win. He goes to the Warriors. He's able to play second fiddle to Steph, Draymond, Clay, and just be their guy. And I'm happy to see him get it done. Congrats to him. And no, I am not regretful of the trade. And everyone just needs to calm down because sometimes trades happen, and we got way better after the trade too. Didn't make it to the finals, but we did make it to the playoffs. So I'm happy. He's happy. Let's all just be happy.
Tim, what did you see like after game 3? Was it just like Steph's like gravity, or was it like crashing the boards? Like what do you think was the main factor of the series like turning around kind of?
Yeah, and I just want to touch on the Wiggins thing real quick too, because I saw a tweet from somebody that will rename that I will not mention their name. It doesn't matter who, but just know that it is somebody that used to be in an NBA front office, for what it's worth. And they said on Twitter that obviously Curry's going to win the NBA Finals MVP, which I think they've already given to him. Yep, there he is with it.
Yes, they have.
But they said it should go to Wiggins, and I was like, okay, calm down. And I get what you're saying. What they're trying to say, like the defense on Tatum, and and he was critical. I mean, he was probably their second best offensive player throughout the series, which isn't really saying too much because it was really just Curry and then a bunch of guys kind of. But yeah, that's a hot take for you right there, that Wiggins should be the, the Finals MVP. But
I mean, that's just people overthinking it, where they're like, "Oh yeah, most valuable. Like without him, without what he was doing, no way."
yeah.
It's like sometimes like it's just the marketing, right? Like if it was most outstanding player, like anyone that looks like what Curry did in this series, I mean, he earned it. Like stop trying to take it away from him. He was absolutely the number one best player for the Warriors overall, even though he wasn't the best player in every game. I mean, he was fantastic today. Game 4, we already talked about. He was on fire. And yeah, he was not very good in game 5, but I do not think that we need to steal his award for Wiggins just because Wiggins played good defense and pulled down some rebounds in games 4 and 5 there.
I think he led this series in rebounding. I think I saw that tweet like halfway through. Yeah,
he did.
Oh, nice.
That's incredible. Yeah. I think that was key in this series because if they were spreading the floor, they're more mobile and more athletic, I think. But then Horford and even Williams, I think, on the perimeter to get to the rebounds quicker. I think, yeah, you saw like a couple putbacks that were pretty key. And even Payton, Gary Payton helped in that regard also. But
yeah, I think Gary Payton was pretty big actually. And he kind of, was ramping up some minutes. He had a really nice game 6, I thought. Maybe not statistically, but just, yeah, defensively giving them another body that is physical, has good hands, good instincts, and really like to go back to what your question was, Yusuf, about like how they turned it around. Yeah, I think it was kind of that exactly, just the intensity of the rotations on defense, the getting in passing lanes, and they did a really good job of anticipating like. You saw it a couple times in the fourth quarter where Tatum was relocating on a Brown drive, and they know that Brown's looking for Tatum, and they jump that pass or find a steal or something like that. So they just made life really uncomfortable for the Celtics, who didn't really have anyone that could initiate offense. I mean, that game 5 was very ugly, especially in the second half, fourth quarter, and even game 6. I mean, Brown struggles to dribble sometimes.
Do we want to just take a couple minutes to talk about every time he puts the ball on the floor, it seems like it just gets coughed up?
Yeah, I mean,
dribble or two.
It's tough. Okay,
Steph Curry was really good in poking his hands, like using his hands to knock the ball away. He did it, especially in game 7.
And I'm glad you brought that up actually, because it's kind of it annoyed me, especially I noticed a fair amount in the game tonight where they seemed to try to attack Curry, and a lot of that was Marcus Smart, I felt, and he was pretty dreadful. And I just hate that, like, because to me that's, especially if it's like they're giving you that matchup right out of the gate. To me, that's just giving the Warriors exactly what they want, because it's not like Marcus Smart is some, or shot creator or anything like that. But if he gets the ball and he's like, oh, I'm going to go one-on-one with Steph Curry, yeah, it might work out some, but honestly, to me, that's not your best option, and you're playing into like kind of fool's gold, into a trap. And so, um, yeah, it didn't work out for him tonight. Let's see, what was Marcus Smart's final line? 4 of 12 for the field, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Oh, 6
He
rebounds,
led
excuse
the
me.
team in plus minus, but I mean, that's,
9
we
assists and only 3 turnovers. That's pretty good compared to Jaylen Brown's 3 assists and 5 turnovers, and Jason Tatum's 7 assists and 5 turnovers. So maybe I take it back. Maybe he was their best creator.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said he was the X factor, but obviously, like your top 2 guys need to play better at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And really, I guess my point is mostly that the Warriors did a really good job of making the Celtics just uncomfortable. That there was no, outside of a couple stretches, in that second half, especially, there was no moment where you thought the Celtics were really getting super comfortable. I guess the end of the
Even though it
third.
was a 9-point game, like I was like, this could be a game.
Yeah, but they could never really get over that hump, man. They never got it any closer than 8, I don't believe. And the second that they would look like that they were going to kind of maybe make it interesting, the Warriors would find somebody to hit a big 3. It wasn't always Curry. There was a couple Wiggins in the corner. Draymond, hit a 3. So yeah, they just got enough enough timely shots to kind of squash that run in the fourth. And yeah, it never really got too exciting, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Celtics bench, like they were so bad.
Yeah, they had nothing off their bench, man. I mean, Grant Williams, Derek White, and they both
Pritchard,
gave them
yeah.
15, 16 minutes, but you got a combined 5 points from, I mean,
5 points from the entire bench.
yeah.
I slid this in there a little bit during your monologue, Tim, because Marcus was the best plus minus, and it's not the be all end all stat.
Yeah.
But Peyton Pritchard in 8 minutes was minus 20. Derek White minus 26. Grant Williams 16 minutes minus 18. I mean, like you need your role players to come through for you at home. And Horford had a great game. He was efficient as heck. He was pulling down boards. Marcus was at least initiating offense, like you said, and just nothing off the bench.
Here's a great point, DJ. Scrolling up to the Warriors, looking at their bench, and Looney actually played the most minutes off the bench for him. Gave him no points, was a 0 in the plus minus. But Gary Payton gave him 20 minutes, and Jordan Poole gave him 18 minutes. And Payton actually led the team plus 18. Jordan Poole third plus 11. So yeah, that'll make a difference there for you whenever.
Yeah. And also shout out to Draymond, like in the 2 losses, and what was it, like 3 games that he had fouled out the series. I mean, he was a little bit brutal, and I think it was through the first 4 games he had like more fouls than points or something in the entire series. And he still annoys me a little bit with the antics. Although if the Timberwolves traded for him tomorrow, I'd be like, Draymond Green, let's go, Sparty Nation. Even though I'm wearing the Gopher gear. He was pretty darn good tonight. I mean, he's getting boards, he's slinging assists. Like you said, Tim, he hit not 1, but 2 threes. And he had like a 23-footer or something that he just pulled in. I can't remember whose face that was, but when he just pulled up in his off the like fake handoff, like good for him to see him kind of get back to the old Draymond, because he was nice for them, like back in the early championship run, like not only defensively and emotionally, but like giving them some real offense. So they really had their swagger tonight.
He almost had the like Draymond triple double, which is like 10, 10, and 10 basically.
Yeah. He got close. Maybe a couple of assists that were missed threes or something. The teammates could have picked him up to get him there. But Clay was on one. He was kind of slinging, but not super efficient.
Clay was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say like a lot of people are like, oh, watch out for Klay Thompson. He loves game sixes. Sorry, Tim. Or he loves a closeout game. But he didn't quite get it tonight. But Curry had plenty to pick him up.
yeah. Look at Draymond putting in the shift like 42 minutes, basically most of them at center. I think there was a great lineup when they had I think Curry, Poole, Peyton, Draymond, and Wiggins, which was just like obviously amazing on both sides of the ball. And Draymond too, it was obviously like amazing defensively in this game, I thought as well. At the rim, I thought Celtics were really struggling because I'm not sure about the points in the paint. I have to look at that. But I know a couple of like game three, they dominated the Warriors in the points in the paint. So that was a big difference, I think, in this game.
Well, besides a couple of those plays where like Rob Williams was able to get free for like an easy layup or easy dunks on blown switches, were there really? And again, I was kind of watching in and out at the restaurant and got home for most of the fourth quarter. But the Celtics, again, like their big point was kind of the athleticism they were supposed to bring into this series, and that lineup where if they were going to throw Poole, Curry, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond, like some of those guys, they just weren't really able to attack the rim. Like and maybe it's just the adjustments Kerr was making in the latter half of this series here, but it just seemed like every time the Celtics were going for stuff, if they weren't hitting their threes or getting out in quick transition, like they were really kind of stagnant in the half court. They're not able to get a lot of good looks.
Well, the Warriors definitely looked like they were switching pretty much everything. And then even if Curry got out to Horford or Williams, they would pre-switch pretty much switch it back or whatever, get Draymond or somebody else on him. So couldn't really take advantage. But I mean, Curry was insane. And even in this game, like his in-between game and his like finishes at the rim, like he makes that finger roll look so easy. He was getting it like so many times.
Yeah, even his patience too on some of those like pump fake blow by, and just wait for it. Okay, now I have space. I get my shot off, and I'm making three. So the full game was on display. Really, the whole series for Steph Curry, man. I guess he had that game. Game 5 was the only not so great performance for him, but yeah, and that was kind of wild too. Ended his 3-point record. So because what was I saw it today? It was like 230 something games.
I believe
right?
2018 was the last time he didn't hit a three in a game, if I'm remembering correctly as well, because I don't have it in front of me. Yusuf, do you have any of those right off the top of the head?
I don't have that, but I think he
Steph
was
Curry's
like 0 for
ridiculous streaks.
9. That was just surprising to see that.
I think it was like it was what I saw was like a playoff. Let me see if I can find that again. It was like a playoff streak of number of playoff games, and yeah, it was insane.
It might have been his first playoff game without one. I mean, I was listening to just some local sports radio that was going over a couple of the ridiculous stats, and they had claimed, and Tim, maybe you'll see this when you're pulling it up here, something like Curry has the 3 longest 3-point streaks of his career, and essentially, if you kind of do the little record scratch, like, wait, what did I just hear you right? Essentially, Steph Curry's entire career is like a couple of games of missing threes, and otherwise every other game he's drilling at least one. It was absolute preposterousness.
This has nothing to do with making threes, but I did see this earlier, and it kind of the same thing blew my mind. Steph Curry's fun stats. It said that this year, Stephen Curry has generated 1.4 billion video views across NBA social media accounts. No other player comes close. The second closest is Ja Morant with 791 million. So he's almost doubling up Ja Morant there. That's insane.
Honestly, good for Ja Morant, even though he and I are still feuding from the Minnesota Grizzlies series, because I want a true rival in the NBA, and the Grizzlies are going to be the rival for us. But that is a
Who do you think celebrate more, the Warriors or the Grizzlies?
That's the question. You said, who do you think celebrated more, Warriors or Grizzlies?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Warriors are, I think, probably. It's a great question.
Let's see. Oh, dang it. I keep thinking I'm finding the stat, but
obviously it is cool to see that he does get his finals MVP that he obviously deserved in 2015 as well. Obviously, yes. You made that Iguodala joke earlier, but
hey, they can't win and even get to the playoffs without Iguodala. So people forget. Bring Iggy back and then win a championship, some would say.
It's a great point.
I did appreciate when Iggy slid in there for the last minute or so. I think he replaced Wiggins to finish it off. Put the boys back together. That was kind of nice to see him slide in there for. Yeah, I'm looking at the box right now. 1 minute for Iggy. He pulled off a trillion in Game 6. That is what I'm talking about. Shout out to Iguodala or Trillion King.
That's awesome. Yeah, you didn't accumulate any stats, huh?
No, not one besides a minute of play, and maybe several daps.
Hey, give that man a ring. Doesn't matter.
Oh, speaking of ring talk, Tim, I'm glad you brought this up. So you guys remember that 3 Curry hit where he just started pointing at his right hand ring finger? So I was like thrown off a little bit because obviously he's won 3 rings already. And so I was like, wait, does he already know he's going to get sized for the right hand ring finger? Am I looking into this too much? Does he have his wedding ring on the left hand, his other 3 on the left hand? Like, what would you guys do with 4 NBA championships and a wedding ring? I'm kind of curious. How would you break it up for which finger gets which ring in which order? I was thinking about this for too long. I apologize, but I would like to know what you guys think.
Well, I hate to do this to you, but I feel like it's not the greatest thought exercise because it's already kind of been decided, has it not? Like he's already gotten the other rings. So like, unless he's going to resize those, he's only got so many fingers to pick from. So he can't retroactively go back.
Already here, would he have gotten the NBA ring here? I don't know.
I think it's safe.
I think it's more of a metaphor because nobody actually wears it because it's like 2 feet.
It's true.
And I'm thinking about this actually because I got myself a pretty cool championship ring. It's no NBA championship or anything, but I sized it to my right ring finger.
Okay.
That's where I sized it. So I would think that your first one you'd do that though, and then so then from there, I'd probably go middle next, or maybe pinky. I don't know. Pinky's kind of cool. Maybe I'd want to go pinky. Well, that's a bit gaudy.
There's like a Michael Jordan where he's wearing all 6 rings on different fingers, right? Am I tweaking? Thinking there's like a famous he's doing like MJ wearing all of them?
The hand on the side, something like that. He's like thinking or something.
Something like that. So appreciate you guys going down a little ring rabbit hole with me on.
But he's already committed. So whatever fingers he's got left, man, is if I'm assuming you probably cover both pinkies, the other ring, and a middle finger, maybe. I don't think you go thumb with that type of ring.
I don't know anyone that'd be rocking a thumb ring. That would be a little out of the box.
Maybe like Phil Jackson, maybe, I guess, because he has like 13.
Does he have 10? I'm 6 with and then 3 more with the Lakers, and then
12 or 13.
And then 2 more 11.
And then one as a player, I think.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to check this right now as we're talking.
Hey, whenever I was scrolling through trying to find that random Curry stat, I saw a report that said that that Jaden Ivey hopes that the Kings don't draft him. And it just made me really happy. I was like, I hope maybe he also says he prefers to go to the Thunder because that's what every player is saying right now. I don't know if you guys have heard that buzz.
Everyone wants to go to the Thunder.
Yeah, that's what all the players are saying. My preferred location, one of my preferred destinations.
Jabari said he's watching the Magic. He said like their team has good chemistry. So,
well, Jabari said that he's not. He didn't do any workouts with anybody other than Oklahoma City and Orlando, and that he doesn't expect to fall past 2. So,
again, as the first time not in the lottery in however many years, fellas, how are we feeling 1 week out? Yusuf, right? You got number 1, and then Tim, you're at 4, and then it's who's 2 and you're at 2. Sacramento's at 4. I apologize. Sacramento's at 4. So what are we thinking for a couple of these draft picks? Who do we want to get for both of you two?
I'm thinking Jabari. Like I've been on Jabari since like March or something like that.
I want Chet.
And
actually, I've been all over the board with if Chet goes number 1, who do I want 2? And I actually think I want Paolo too. Paolo would be my number 2 after Chet, I think actually.
And Yusuf, selfishly, number one, want a Minnesota boy to go first overall. Number two, want Chet to be reunited with Jalen Suggs. There is no number three, I suppose. So how would you feel if they picked Chet? Just curious, because that's what I would love to have happen.
I wouldn't say I would be mad, but I'd be a little bit anxious because I would just be scared of I'm just scared of injuries and how his body holds up. I think it's mostly due to injury. He's obviously has the skill to play pretty much, anywhere on the court. So I think I think he'll be capable in the NBA. Just a matter if his body holds up and how he fits in. Tim, you obviously like him.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, he's somebody defensively that you could build your whole defense around. He's, got some Rudy Gobert to him, I guess, a little bit.
I mean, the upside is insane. Nobody can deny that.
and then offensively, I mean, yeah, he's not maybe finished there yet, and maybe not a sure thing, but yeah, the Rudy Gobert on defense without the offensive liabilities sounds like a pretty good way to anchor your team. And I just think that for what the Thunder need, especially, that he's the perfect fit. I like the other guys too. It's not a knock on Jabari, whoever. I've said this many times to friends and probably on the pod too. Whoever Sam Presti is picking is who I want, which is like a very Thunder fan thing to say. Is just, man, he's nailed it at the top of drafts for the most part, especially at number 2, number 3, number 4. He's never really missed there. So yeah, whoever he comes up with, I'm excited there. I'm more so spinning my wheels about the 12th pick. And the potential. There's a lot of rumors out now about Thunder maybe trading up, and stuff like that. So that's what I got my eyes on. Shaden Sharp is maybe the random prize that I would love the Thunder to take. Just spin that wheel, see what happens. There's a couple other guys I like there too, but I don't know. Shaden Sharp just is the mystery.
He's in the top 5 now, on mocks.
No. He's falling, dude.
Oh, really? He started falling again?
Yeah, he started falling because this is the funny thing that's going around is that maybe he's tanking his workouts because he has said
to get to the Thunder because everyone wants to play for the Thunder.
Well, so here's the interesting thing. His handler, it's not his agent, but it's the guy, his handler. It was the guy that was SGA's handler for a while. So they got some connections there, and him and his campus openly said that Oklahoma City would be kind of his preferred situation. But then there was just some reports that were going around, not so much that he was purposely throwing them, but that he just hasn't looked very good in workouts, which obviously gives me some pause of okay, well, maybe he's not very good, or maybe this is just 4D 5D chess where they're just outthinking everybody, and the Thunder don't even have to trade up and they get Shaden Sharp at 12 when really he should be the 5th pick. I don't know, maybe or maybe not.
Nice.
This is what I have to stew on for the rest of the week until the draft happens next Thursday. So,
yeah, look, I mean, we'll definitely be talking about it, especially leading up to free agency, and obviously our teams are involved, so we're pretty invested in this year's draft. But I think that's gonna do it for now. It's almost 5:15 a.m. in London. I'm about to go to sleep now.
Take a nap, my man.
The sun is shining. The sunrise is at 4:30. It's pretty insane.
Oh yeah, because you're so far north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any last thing from the finals? The season's over.
Here's my final thought. The Warriors got one. Steph got one. Now I hope they never win another one again. That was fun. And I suspended my Warriors haterism for this playoffs, but now I'm back on it. And yeah, dynasty done. Let's get some new blood in there next year.
DJ, you big on the Wiseman train?
Wait, okay, just real quick, the fact that Wiseman, Moody, and Kuminga gave absolutely nothing in the finals. Well, for the most part, I mean, they played 10 minutes all series. It is going to be a little bit scary. I mean, Warriors probably open as the favorite for next year, but hopefully, I mean, it's always a bummer with injuries. Hopefully we have a few less injuries, but if you start just making the mental note of Warriors should be maybe better next year with some of those young guys contributing.
Maybe.
Wolves, yeah, maybe right. Like just if the young guys, because I don't know how they're gonna fall off necessarily. Like Trey, Steph, Clay,
Maybe
Wiggins
Clay's
should
better
be
too
solid.
because a little further removed from injury,
Another
but
year
anyways.
from injury. So no reason to think that they're just going to completely fall off. Ownership probably isn't going to jettison them like the Bulls back in the day or anything like that. Phoenix, interesting to see what happens with Ayton, because otherwise, I mean, if they just bring back the band, they're not going to be bad. Memphis, probably better, maybe. I mean, maybe not record wise, but no reason to think they'd be worse. Timberwolves, hopefully better. Clippers, less injuries, could be better. Denver, less injuries, better. Oklahoma City, more young talent. Maybe they're not ready, but
Lakers.
better.
early.
They're not going to be worse. Lakers, thank
Bucks.
you. Possibly better. Bucks, better.
Well, just
Bulls
Middleton.
might make some more moves. So
Yeah.
just so many teams seem like they could be better next year. I guess Dallas,
Celtics.
like maybe we'll talk more about some of that stuff. Celtics
That was a good
shouldn't
trade
drop
for him
off.
yesterday. Christian Wood.
There's nothing wrong in that value. Just if Christian Wood's a head case, maybe, but otherwise, talent wise, like there's nothing wrong. They lost no one that was giving them anything that they should worry about. So you look at that and it's like, what are the Rockets doing? Almost. I mean, unless they hit on the 25th pick.
He was
just wants to be
a
on a better
locker room
team.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if he's not a locker room problem in Dallas, I'm with you. Like, great trade. Like, talent wise, seems like a great trade. So, I mean, who doesn't have fun? Sports business classroom, whatever the new class is probably sometime in summer league. I think that's still going. I got a couple of emails from Larry about that. Shout out to all the alums out there. So time to get crazy with some off-season moves. I think it'll be a fun off-season, and then next year, if everyone comes in healthy, probably gonna be a lot of fun again.
Yep. All right, looking forward to it with you guys. It's last thing. Like the funny thing is, like I still think like the Celtics might have been like a better team overall, but like Steph Curry was just like the best player by far this series, so didn't really matter. But yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys jumping on. Check it out on Apple.
Get some
Spotify,
sleep.
YouTube. Yeah, honestly. All right, I'm gonna catch you guys later. See ya.